My boy Ko finally became a vampire, but only very briefly. I don't know. It feels like a little bit of a cop-out. But at the same time, it's interesting because it does sort of open the door to one of the original concepts of Ko's character. Yes, when he discovered that he could become a vampire, he was excited for it, but his biggest problem, his biggest obstacle, is that he feels like he could never love. He's never understood love. He's never had that concept in his head. It almost gives a sense that he feels like he's broken. There's something in there. Normally, love is right here, and mine's just kind of detached. I can never really understand it. And so this gives that very brief moment of saying, no, like Anko says, no, I said that you couldn't before. I was wrong. You had it. You can do it. Love is there. You had a love for Nazuna very briefly. You just got to get it again, apparently. Though it does kind of make you wonder, because in his becoming in love with Nazuna very briefly, he actually was starting to transform. And I'm assuming because he lost consciousness during the transformation, it cut off. Like, it interrupted it, and thus he wasn't able to fully turn. I don't think it's necessarily saying the other thing that I kind of had a brief thought of if they fall out of love with the one that turns them, do they turn back to human? Doubt, because Nico never talks about the one that turned her. Midori never talks about the one that... Like, none of these vampires even mention the person that turned them. It's always, like, forward-thinking. It's the ones they're turning and their relationships. So I doubt it's, like, an idea that Ko, if he becomes a vampire, eventually he'll fall in love with Nazuna and then turn back to being human. Because, yes, over time, as they're vampires, they forget their past. And so they're always going to forget the moment that they fall in love with somebody. Like Seri and Akihito was getting into, the idea that she wants him to learn how to get his own blood, and he's like, no, while I'm still remembering my human life and falling in love with you, I want to spend time with you. So even there, it's saying, I'm going to forget eventually, and I don't want to, I don't want to discard that yet. I don't want to get rid of that yet. It's super cute. Anyways, yeah, episode 11 of season 2 of Call of the Night. Awesome episode. Lots of reveals. I'm loving the whole, like, chemistry between Anko and them, even though it breaks my heart. The ending of this episode, I literally went like, ow, that kind of hurts. Oh, you two have been kissing. You never kissed me. You're like, oh, girl. You right now, you look cute. A little blush. Get more drinks. I'm like, oh, that kind of hurts. That kind of hurts. The idea of Anko's literally sitting in front of the one that she loves and seeing the two of them kind of just blossoming their relationship, and it's like, she wants some of that. I do love, like, the little teasing they're doing. Anko kind of just getting at her. Just absolutely getting at her. Like, kind of the little harem kind of set up there, but it's like this teasing that's happening, and Nazuna's just getting, like, super jealous over there. Clomps him over the head. Anyways, let's get in the episode proper, because I don't want to miss anything. But yes, opening up with Ko, and yes, he just got shot, and Nazuna comes rushing in there. We get the whole scene there over time, but essentially what happened is, yes, she was going to shoot. He stopped her, gets shot, and then Nazuna comes in just about ready to take out Anko. Like, she was legit ticked off. But Anko at the same time is panicking. Like, this is not something she wanted to do. She doesn't want to harm other people. She said that several times before. I don't want to harm humans, but if you get in my way, I'm going to have to harm you. Because that was her 10 years spent coming to this moment. She's willing to kind of trample over humans in order to get to the vampires. I'm not going to let anybody stop me for my ultimate goal. But even here, it's showing that, no, she's like, crap, I did this. This is not what I wanted. And I do kind of understand that from a sense that it does seem like she has been looking after Ko. It mentioned several times in this episode, oh, she was looking out for me. Because, again, she sees herself in Ko. She was also after Nazuna at some point, also in love with Nazuna at some point, and failed to turn, just like Ko is failing to turn, and instilling upon him, look, you need to know how to move forward if that doesn't work out, because you're kind of broken just like me. It hurts. But yeah, apparently as they're talking, and Nazuna does kind of calm down. Okay, I got to get him to Kabura. Ko stands up. Ko just stands up. It feels so, like, perfect, the idea that he's wearing that Halloween outfit. So he's got that Dracula look to him, standing up straight. Eyes seem like a little bit slightly different, but yeah, this is this brief moment that it seems like he did turn. And I wonder if it is an element that he was telling himself as he was losing consciousness, no, I gotta stop this because Nazuna's get the wrong impression, and I don't want Nazuna to hurt Anko. And additionally, the idea that, yes, he just tried to stop Anko from firing, and he could be afraid that she's going to do it again. Well, now that I fail, she might follow through with it. He's panicking because why? Because this will make Nazuna cry. He doesn't want Nazuna crying because she lost her friend. And this desperate desire for him to protect something that Nazuna cares about and to keep her from not being sad, I think was that brief moment of love. But again, as they're pointing out later on, it was only a turning of him. And so I assume that because he lost consciousness, it stopped. But it was enough time for that wound to heal. Then why would they have to patch him up? No, I don't think so then. I think he was probably still wounded even after losing consciousness, and it just healed over time. So at some point while he was in the hospital, he went back to being a human. I don't know. It's weird. Don't think too much about it. But yeah, at the hospital, Anko shows up, apologizes for all that, then confirms to him that, yes, you're not a vampire. You're still human. I checked your pulse. Hey, do you want to check more? She's so bad. Do you want me to check again? But yes, then getting into what we've been talking about for the last few episodes, the idea of Anko and her desire to end it all. And this does sort of sadden me quite a bit because, yes, right here she's saying, I missed my opportunity. I live for just killing vampires. And it seems like there's a sense here that her hatred for vampires is what kept her going. She wanted to end it a long time ago, but sort of this rage for going after these individuals, because of what happened to my father, this pretty much extended to all vampires, and I just want to get to them. I like the idea that she is acknowledging that her rage for this one person that did that to father extended to all of them. So there at least is an acknowledgement there that they're not all this person. I made them into this person. They're not all like the one that turned my father and ruined my life, but I'm blaming them all. But then right here, acknowledging it all fell apart, and I just wanted to end. But, and this is totally understand, and again, it breaks my heart. I understand here. There's still a fear of death. This is a thing that is thankfully present for a lot of people when they want to end it all, is that moment of, but I'm afraid of doing that. I want to do this, but I'm afraid of doing it. And it thankfully has that fear of, that deep desire within humans to survive is still there to sort of keep them alive long enough to find purpose. And it seems like that's sort of where they're going with Anko's character. She wanted to end it, but because she's afraid of actually dying, that process scares me. And I'm assuming that's probably why, another reason why she did this big O scheme to take down the vampires, to incite their anger, and again, incite some anger upon Nazuna, was because I can't do it myself, so I'll make somebody else do it for me. But yeah, she goes on about the rage, keeping her going, and getting into, once again, that I've wasted these last 10 years, and to instill upon Ko, don't do the same thing I was doing. And this is where you realize is that, oh yes, that's right, she's been looking out for me. And again, that was all in that message. That text that she sent him, that's literally what that was saying. Don't be like me. You're going to fail to turn, but you still have a huge life ahead of you. This is a teenager. He has plenty of life ahead of him. But for her, she feels like she doesn't. And I like that he kind of follows up and says, hey, look, 40's young too. He literally brings up Nazuna. I'm going out with Nazuna, and she's like 40. She's young. And he's like, how old are you? 28. Yeah, you're still young. Like, this is one of those kind of like anime logic here. And it's technically a bit in Japanese culture. And the idea that like they feel like once they've passed 20, they're just old. They're literally 1 foot in the grave. Anko's only 28. She's still plenty young. She's very young, very youthful. You just got to clean yourself up like she does in the episode. And then, yes, tells her happy birthday. It was super cute. Again, I think this is a massive thing. Ko is so critical for Anko's character and her life. And the idea that she spent all this time in anger, and then she finally meets Ko, trying to hunt down these vampires, trying to stop and help Ko, but eventually Ko helps her instead, and instilling upon her, look, you still got life ahead of you. That's all I think that she really needed to hear. Because she's afraid of dying, and she knows that she has done something that she probably shouldn't have done and wasted all this time, and again, sort of just applied her anger to all the vampires, he's there to say, don't worry, I know you're afraid of dying, don't worry, there's something in this life, you still have plenty of your life ahead of you, you're still young. All I need to hear. I love that, though. She goes up to Nazuna. It's like, I went to go apologize, but then he ended up cheering me up. I wish I could have fallen in love with you. I'm sorry. Guess I'm not lovable enough. Again, that moment right there in the very end of the episode is like super hurt. And the idea like Anko's just there. Like, she loves Nazuna so much. Anyways, that's when Nico goes to visit Ko and talks about how unrealistic Anko's plans were. And then Ko questions, was it right to stop her? I love that Nico jumps in there. No, look, boy, if she was going to do that, if that was her goal, she would have done it a long time ago. Honestly, I think it's even worse than the idea that she was having Nazuna do it. That is definitely worth stopping. Stopping somebody from having somebody else get very hurt through that process, damn straight it was the right thing to do. There was no reason to have her blood on Nazuna's hands. Again, Nazuna cares for Anko. But yeah, he says it's not that simple. She says it's the best answer for now. Come to class sometime. But he at least does realize it right here. It was probably because I didn't want her to die, because I didn't want Nazuna sad. That's plenty enough reason. Anyways, we jump to Anko, and she's going to flirt with that dude again. I think that was kind of a nice thing for her to kind of go over there and just talk to some random dude, give his costume back, and he's immediately trying to get her to... Well, at first he says that there was a photo shoot nearby and they were shooting off things that sounded like guns, and she's like, yeah, it was a terrible plan. Everybody thinks it's just like theatrics, like somebody was shooting a movie or something like that. Yeah, it was a pretty terrible plan. But again, like right here, having this guy essentially asking her out on a date. Like, hey, you want to go hook up for the night? She's like, hell no, I don't want to do that. I like to spend my nights alone. But ask him out on just get some drinks. I like this because I do think this is sort of what she needs to kind of see that some random dude, even though she's not going to follow through with it because she knows that this guy has a wife, at least sees, oh, I am attractive to somebody. Somebody is willing to be with me. It is kind of a nice thing to have after this whole thing. But then we have the scene with Koa and Nazuna. Super cute. Oh my gosh, I love this scene so much. He sets off the thing. She's right outside the door. Comes in there, apologizes. It was her mess, and she didn't do anything. Thanks for saving my senpai's life. It's super cute. The little hug, telling her it must have been hard for her, and that all that really matters in the end is that nobody's dead. There's no reason to be embarrassed. There's no reason to be upset about the situation. The end was positive. We came out happy in the end. Don't be upset. Don't be embarrassed. And then get the kiss. little chew. Thank you. It's so cute. I love their relationship. Their relationship's so freaking good. Just like how casually she just throws it on him. But yes, Kabura says, fully healed. What? Celebrate. Hey, I'm pretty sure I got shot. Why don't I have a wound? But I love this because this kind of highlights something that is kind of really goofy. And again, it plays into the lore. They have established that these vampires over time forget things. It's actually within their instincts to forget things to protect themselves. So Ko right here is acknowledging, you guys literally have no clue what's going on, right? I have literally healed up a wound, but I have a pulse. Why is that? You guys are vampires. You should at least know how this works. So because you can't rely on literally anybody, Kabura has no clue. Nazuna has no clue. He decides to contact somebody that has some knowledge of vampires, a human, Anko. I love that she shows up, got the haircut, and they're literally like, do we mention it? Do you think she wants us to mention it? Would it be insensitive to bring that up? I don't know. Maybe she's like in a very delicate situation right now. But yes, they go to the restaurant and Nazuna wants to get drinks with her friend. I thought after so long coming together, we could have drinks together. I'm a lightweight. I can't do it. It's so goofy. Ko finally acknowledged her hair, pisses off Nazuna because he's flirting with her. She got like jealous for a very brief moment, just smacks him over the head. But then having Ko right here bring up the vampires, again, acknowledging the idea that it seems like the vampires don't really know much about themselves, and seeing that, yes, Anko has spent the last 10 years looking into them, hopefully she'll know about it. Of course, she makes a puberty joke. Yes, I know, it's growing, it's causing anxiety within you. What are you talking about? Canines, of course. What do you think I was talking about? But again, like I said earlier, it's getting into the element that it seems like for a brief moment, he was getting something of a love for Nazuna. And it sucks because Ko for a brief moment just thinks he's deluding himself. Oh, that happened because I faked it, basically. I thought that I had love. I made myself believe that I had love. And she says, no, you were turning. That's real stuff. You cannot turn unless it was real. You can't fake that. And he has that little smile. I love that. Yeah, that little smile there. You had it for a brief moment. It was real. I'm sorry. I was wrong when I said that you lacked romantic urges. He smiles. I love it. I love it. But then it just evolves into Anko just basically saying, when are the two of you gonna hook up? How far have you gotten? You actually kissed? I wish she kissed me too. Ow. Ow. That hurt so bad. When Anko said that, I'm like, oh my gosh. Nazuna, just kiss her. I'd be like, if I was Ko, I'd be like, Nazuna, just give her a kiss. Come on, Nazuna, just go. Just go, girl. Give her a quick kiss. Come on. Again, the little teasing they had in here was so great because it's literally Anko just being like super like touchy on Ko. The touching the belly Just rubbing it. It's so soft. Soft skin of adolescence. And then Nazuna's over there like, damn it, stop. It's too edgy. The chemistry between the three of them has been fantastic so far. So I'm hoping that they keep Anko around. She doesn't just disappear. I understand character-wise, this girl needs to go out and find something. But at least for now, it's goofy. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. It is interesting that they do bring up the idea of sexual pleasure. And this technically is true. Anko is bringing up the idea of you can essentially trick your brain by just having that pleasure. You don't realize how powerful pleasure is. And yes, because Nazuna is so she's so embarrassed when it comes to actual physical contact and actual romance. That's why she always makes the joke about it. It kind of does beg the question of, yes, if Ko and her were to sleep together, would that actually be enough to sort of spring this forward, that produce that love through that interaction between each other? I don't know. It's obviously they have a block there. There's obviously a block there that prevents it from happening, but it is interesting. I'm sort of curious if that will end up being the final kind of thing that pushes that love together, is for them to actually have an intimate moment together. Anyways, overall, really solid episode. Really enjoyed it. A lot of fun exchanges between Anko, Nazuna, and Ko. And curious how they're going to end it. We only have one episode left. I'm wondering if they're going to dig back into Kiku. I doubt that. I mean, why would they bring up Kiku at the last episode? I'm kind of curious where they're going to wrap up this season at, but hopefully it's not a bad stopping point. But anyways, really solid episode. Looking forward to more. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did hit the like button down below, if you like this content, you want to support channel more, become a member of the channel. Until next time, y'all take care.